Hello and welcome to the first episode of our second season. Week 1 is here. Week 1 has arrived. Dallas Cowboys. They get to play the Cleveland Browns this week. Man, I'm excited. I can't wait. We're back. Football's back, baby. And let's bring in our co-host, the one, the only, the myth, the man, the legend, Mr. Aaron James. Let's give him a round of applause here. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing much better now, Jason, that it's football season officially kicks off.
It is.
The air is getting a little bit more crisp.
Game's about to start. We got games. Thursday night's about to kick off right now. They're getting ready. They're practicing. They're over here playing around. Man, it's weird that it's got Friday night football. You know, it's of course the Eagles are going to be on Friday night, but come on. Who just plays Friday night? Like, come on. We don't need Friday. It's not high school. What do you think? You're high school kids now? Get out of here. Go home. You guys deserve Friday night football. But man, it's exciting. We got football back, and the number one thing when everybody sees football, what do they think of? Boom. We'll open our show today because we like to talk about everything here. Big kicker show, big fantasy football team show, big Dallas Cowboys show as well. Who are you counting on most this year to carry you to victory? I'm sure you have a couple teams. Who's your number one guy? Who are you looking at? Who's your guy? Who's your main one?
Well, so I looked at this question a little bit differently maybe than you, in that I have some producers I think will do their job, but one guy I'm nervous about, and I typically don't draft teams and players that I don't personally like and it's hard to root for. I'm not going to draft that Jalen Hurts, for example. This was painful for me, but I really need Brock Purdy to have a good year.
That's a good one. Listen, I think he can. He's got so many weapons around him. So if we're going in that vein, and I'm going to mirror you with San Fran guy. I was going to go Patrick Mahomes because this is the first year I've actually been able to draft him, and I drafted 12th. So I was shocked. First year I've gotten Patrick. It's tough now after you remember what he used to do with Tyreek Hill, but I'm going to go Deebo Samuel because he's the dude I took as my wide receiver 1. And in our league, if you get a touchdown doing things you're not supposed to, it's double points. So when he gets those rushing touchdowns, that's double points. So I need them to utilize him like they did a few years ago. He needs to stay healthy. Hopefully the Ayuk thing. And the thing I got going for me is if McCaffrey gets hurt. Last year, McCaffrey won me a championship. This year, if he gets hurt, Deebo is going to take over some of that. So I like that. Yeah, Deebo. I'm going to go with that. I need Deebo to be my producer. If he has a good season, I think I win a championship.
I think that, I never really liked Deebo. Deebo never really intrigued me as a fantasy football guy because while he's dangerous with the football, he's like, not he's the most versatile, but just not the most what's the word I'm looking for? Potent in any one thing.
No, well, it's funny because my best friend's a San Fran fan, and me and him would have an argument. It's funny, like CD or Deebo. Now he's off of Deebo. Now it's CD and Ayuk. So it's yeah. So they think it too. But if he produces, he could have a big season. So I do like him. He can give you a little bit of everything. That's why I drafted him. But yeah, I think if he has a big season, I could win. I'd be happy for that.
Do you think his numbers at the end of the year will be better than Ayuk's?
No, I think Ayuk's a better receiver. It depends. I think he's got to ease himself way back in. I don't think he's 100%. So it depends. If McCaffrey gets hurt, I think that helps Deebo out a lot because he's going to the overall numbers will be there.
Okay.
But speaking of fantasy, I think we got a game coming up full of fantasy players. There's a lot of players, a lot of positional players, even defense. I think in this game you'll have. So we got to get in the meat and potatoes of why we're here. Our Dallas Cowboys do play the Cleveland Browns in week 1. And this is one of those games when we did our predictions for the season that I kind of struggle with because I do think Cleveland's a very good team. They have a very good quarterback. They have Amari Cooper, who's shown to still can play. They did go out and get Jerry Jeudy. They have a very solid defense. So when I look at it, you're looking at the keys to victory for Cleveland. To me, I had my top 3. I don't know if you how many you did, but throwing out my third key to victory for them is the rushing game. I think Chubb's hurt, but they have that. I know who's the kid? Ford is coming in. Can they get that run game going? We've seen Dallas is a very opportunistic defense. Their defense that if they're up, and you have to pass, they have Diggs back there who's shown to go get the ball. They have edge rushers that can go get the quarterback. So I think Cleveland, their number one thing needs to be being able to rush the ball against Dallas and control the clock. Because if they can do that, they have a very, very good shot to win that game. So I think, for me, number 3, rushing the ball for Cleveland. Go ahead.
I think that's huge. Obviously, they want to test our weakness, the weakness of the Cowboys and Cleveland historically. Right, most recently, it's been their strength in years past to run the ball, especially with Nick Chubb. And week 1 is always difficult because you want to think you want to try to get out of that trap of last season of the identity of the team. I just think that while rushing is important for me, it's going to come down to their defense overall and how they're going to be able to contain Dak and his production. Because my figure is that they have to keep Cowboys under 16 points to
under
come
16.
out with a win.
Man, okay. So you see Cleveland, you think Cleveland gets about 7. You think Cleveland scores 7, no more than 17.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and to my second key to victory, I do think it's controlling turnovers. I think that's very cliche, but I do think Dallas with Trayvon Diggs, he's shown to go get that ball. He's going to be juiced up. I'm a little worried because he did spend all last year on the IR. Didn't play at all. And no Bland. So he's going to be juiced up. So I'm a little worried they're going to be able to take control of that. Mm-hmm. But again, on the other side, it could turn into some big plays. So I think, being able to control the ball, no turnovers, I think is the second key. To me, at least, they're number 2. They have to be able to, number 1, you're running well. 2, you're not turning that ball over. And I think I sound cliche. I've watched a lot of football in my life. Those are usually pretty good indicators that you're winning a game.
Yeah, they definitely are. I would say another key to victory for Cleveland, and what I'm most nervous about is Amari Cooper going off. Not only because I think he can, but he seems to always have that chip on his shoulder. He carried it over from the Raiders, and I think there's still a little something there when it comes to Cowboys trading him away for a 4th round pick. So he's not normally the vocal guy, but I'm sure he's gone up to Watson and the coach and saying, "Hey, look, feed me the ball this game. I'll cook whoever's covering me." That's
a good, and he's very. They showed back when I think CD was a rookie. They were on, and they were showing like the footwork, like he's showing them. So like he's his number 1. He's always been a great route runner. So that's, I think, like I was kind of touching on earlier with Diggs. And they could take advantage of that. I think that's a very good one I hadn't thought about, but just take it, or at least on the Amari side. I feel on the Dallas side, just the Diggs side. But I think that is something they could really take control of. And that's not good. Hopefully Diggs learned from that year. While yes, the big play is good, I don't want you to give up 1,000 yards to me. And my number 1 key to victory for Cleveland is really Myles Garrett. I know you said the defense earlier, but Myles Garrett, Dallas has a pretty still decent offensive line. The one issue with Dallas is they're all pros are the guards, not the tackles. So it's really for Garrett, especially when he's lining up against Guyton, because Guyton's going to be starting. Can he take advantage of that? And if Cleveland is running the ball and getting up well, and Dallas is forced to throw, and I think I really beat the horse this year that I think Dak's going to have a big production season, so he's going to have to throw a lot. So it makes me a little nervous. You're starting a rookie left tackle going against one of the premier defensive. Didn't he win defensive player of the year last year too? So you're going against the reigning. I know he's won it recently, so he's one of the top defensive players in the league. So you got to stop him. For them, him getting to the quarterback means a good day.
Yes. And I mean, for me, lastly, I think Deshaun Watson has a lot of eyes on him for several reasons, but he just hasn't been himself since he left Texas. And I think if you just showed me a stat sheet, I think the magic number for him in this game, 275 passing yards. If he doesn't get at least to that number, I don't see how they're gonna come out with a W in this game, which I think it's going to be a surprisingly.
So you don't think they run the ball? Because to me, if he's throwing for that amount, I think they're behind actually. Like if he's throwing a lot of, because I know I do agree with what you said. You can't really look at last year, but Dallas's run defense the last few years, yes, they did bring in Kendrick, so that may help. I think if he's throwing a lot, it's a bad day for them. I actually think it's the opposite because I think they're going to be running. They want to run. I think that's going to be their no. Even they think that. Dallas has shown not to really stop unless Kendricks is that much of a difference. Because you don't want to be passing against the Cowboys. You don't want Tank and Micah coming off that edge that much.
You don't. But as much as as important it is for the Cleveland defense to show up, I don't think they're going to be able to contain Dak very well. And I think they're going to probably find themselves playing from, 2 possessions down early on. And, Deshaun's going to have to show up or it's going to be a long day.
So we have, looking for the Cowboy side, our number 1 key to victory, or my number 3 key to victory, I think this might shock some people. I think it's the run game. Because I think everyone's overlooking it. ESPN did rank them as the worst running back group in the NFL. I know you signed Dalvin Cook, but he's not going to be active for this game. But when you look at it, feel you kind of, I think Dallas may shock some people. I think they're getting their running game is going to be big for them this game. I think it's going to come out and shock, especially you got a rookie left tackle. He's a guy that in college is known more as a premier run blocker. And that's what, Tyler was as well. So you got Tyler Smith. So I think, you still got Zach Martin. So I think they're going to shock some people and this first game, you're just getting CD back. So I think this is the way to ease everything back in this week 1.
Okay. Still a lot of question marks with the run game. I'm going to make just a prediction right now because I thought of this earlier. I do see come December, I think Dowdle will be our number 1.
Dowdle,
our RB1. Dowdle will be our
hope not, because I took Dalvin in a couple leagues.
That's my prediction for our running back room. I'm going to start with the offense. It kind of ties with what you shared, but the offensive line. We got 2 rookie starters in our center and left tackle, Guyton, and they're going to be tested. And it's going to be just as important in our pass game than it is our rush game. If you remember last year, we were one of the more successful third down, third and mid-range, even think third and long in conversions. And Dak was well protected. Tyron Smith had probably the best year he had maybe 5 or 6 years at that left tackle position, including health. It's hard to think we're going to get something close to that this coming year. So I just think that that O-line is going to be tested, and we're going to find out maybe not a whole lot, but a good amount in this game.
My number 2, looking at the team, and I agree. I think, I'll touch on a little bit more earlier, but yes, I agree with you. My number 2, I think Eric Kendricks. I think when you look at him, you're bringing him in to be that all-star linebacker. I don't think he's been an all-pro in the past. He had some very good years in Minnesota. He's a guy that gets about 120 tackles a year. He does fly around. So you really need him to play big, especially they don't have their starting running back. So if Dallas, if they can somehow in this scheme with, get him flying through those gaps and really stuff in their backup, I think it makes for a good day for Dallas because that way, if you can shut down, like as I said, for them, Cleveland, you want to run the ball. If Dallas, if Kendricks is really stuffing those gaps and shutting down the run, that gives you Lawrence and Mike off the edge. And to me, that means you're having a good day. You have to. And I think that's going to be key. I think Eric Kendricks needs to step up. The first game as a Cowboy, you're that middle linebacker, you're placing Vander Esch, who, is really good. But we need a guy to come in and really solidify that middle linebacker position. So to me, he's the second key. I need him running around this game.
That's a very good one. New team, different scheme than last year, even though he has familiarity with it. And you have the star on your helmet now. Big stage, probably, the biggest game, probably the biggest first game in his career from a game one perspective. So that's a good call out right there. For me, second is really comes down to the run defense, and no real name in particular, but I think it's just going to be, how many guys Zimmer comes up, puts in the box. I think that from a run defensive unit, again, a weakness that we've had for some time, we're going to have to hold them, I'd say under like 90 yards. That would be a win for me. Okay, I guess maybe 95.
Oh, I agree. I think
maybe
if you hold them under 100, to me, that's a win, 1,000%. Yes.
Yeah.
So I agree. Yeah. To me, like I thought a key to them, I do think rushing it has to be for Dallas, Kendricks, and that they need to step up in that run defense. Because if you do that, it just opens up so much more. And it plays into what Dallas does well. So that's really what they need to do. And my number one, it was your two. I think to me, or the three, at least that, to me, it wasn't the whole offensive line. It's more Guyton. You're the first round draft pick. You're starting left tackle. You're going up against the reigning. That to me, that's why Miles is number one for them. Guyton, how much help do you give Guyton? I think that's going to be key because if they have to shade a lot towards Guyton and help with Myles Garrett, you're going to have a tough day. So how well does he stand up? Because a lot of his weaknesses coming out were that he stands too tall in his pass protection, so it kind of hurts him. Guy like Garrett, man, an All-Pro, he's got every move in the book. So that's the matchup that worries me the most of this game. One had me beat my head. When I've been back and forth, that was it.
Yeah, there's a lot of tape out on him. And I'm sure Myles Garrett has been watching. They're going to have a good sense of where his weak spots are.
It's a great draw game. Run a couple draws at his way.
Draws, screens, quick slants, which we do a lot of anyway. But yeah, my eyes are going to be panned to that part of the screen, a big part of the game, and I know yours are as well. My number one for me is CeeDee Lamb coming out strong and having a big game, double digit in catches, at least 115 yards. And what worries me is that the number of reps him and Dak have had, and we all know, I hate to, but this just came to mind, right? That Green Bay game, he was a no-show. Him and Dak were a no-show. That can't happen on Sunday. So we need him to come through. And that's just going to open up everything else on the offensive side. I'm going to be really upset if I see a lot of, if our first 3 drives, if we get 2 3-and-outs, I'm going to lose it. CD needs to win his one-on-one coverage areas, and McCarthy needs to, get him going early.
I think the work they've put in over the years, that's why I'm not as worried. Yes, I'd like to have the preseason, but they didn't really. Yeah, it's practice, but I'm sure he's been catching balls from Dak. I have no doubt. He's been running this stuff. He hasn't, I'm not as worried, but I think, I don't know if you utilize him as much. They have. That's where I think Dallas, I think they're going to shock people running the ball. CD's going to get his because he has, he's just that guy. You just paid him. But I think kind of that's what everybody's expecting. Everyone's expecting CD to come out and that connection That's why I think you look at this week and you say, hey, let's throw a wrench in it. I'm not saying they're not going to get seeded the ball, but I think early on they're going to run the ball and kind of throw everything through a loop. That's just my prediction, at least kind of how I think they're going to play style. Now when you come down to final predictions, I think it's going to be a very good game. But at the end of the day, I do think Dallas wins. I'm going to say 27-21. I think it's a very close game. I think they're up. I think it's a comfortable game. They get it. I don't think they blow them out. I think but Dallas wins comfortably. I don't think it's kind of a scare at the end. I think they win okay, though.
Okay. I kind of have a similar score. I do have Cowboys winning, but we should also note, I think Vegas has the Browns by 2.5 points for what that's worth.
Browns are minus 2.5?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, last I saw.
Where are they playing?
In Cleveland.
Oh, okay. I'm not worried about that
then. Right. So yeah, home game you typically get a couple points, I guess.
You typically get 3, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's minus 2.5 is actually
Yeah. And we'll see what the win conditions are, if that plays a role in the field goal game and
listen, Vegas knows. So it's actually probably going to be like a 3-point game. It's going to be something weird at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Or it'll be like a 2-point game and they'll get everyone.
So I have the Cowboys winning. They kind of spread them. They kind of stretched themselves away from towards the end of the game, 27-16. Yeah. And are you ready for what Madden has this game at?
What is Madden? What is the Madden prediction? So we both have them winning 27 points. What does Madden have?
Madden has them Cowboys winning 37-17.
Okay, Madden. There we go. Yo, that's 3-0 right there. I think that's actually a bad sign. That means Cleveland's probably going to win 47-0.
We have to act. My intention is to actually keep track of the Madden record.
We should do. Yeah, let's see. We should. That'll be a nice little. At the end of the season, we can rank it up. Let's see can we beat Madden. That's going to be the game. The winner. Yeah, there we go. But you heard it here first, people. This is game 1. Dallas. We both have Dallas winning. Even Madden has Dallas winning. So I don't see a way. I see a way, but let's be positive. I don't see a way. I think Dak has a good game. I think CD gets his normal stuff and they run the ball. But man, we got Cowboys week 1. I cannot wait. I'm so happy. And thank you everyone who checked in today, everyone watching us. We really appreciate it. And we'd like to thank our new audience. We are now, our podcast is now on the Ring the Bell Network. So anybody watching on the Ring the Bell Network, again, thank you so much for supporting us. I know we're probably not everything. You guys might be Eagles fans, but hey, there probably is some Cowboys fans. They're everywhere. We are, I'm in Jersey, Aaron's in California. Neither one of us are in Texas. So I'm sure we're going to get some hate for that, but it doesn't matter. They're everywhere. So I appreciate each and every one of you for coming out watching. And we're still on our YouTube page, our Cowboys Takeover YouTube. So if you are, please click that bell, give the like, notify subscriptions, the bell. Appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you all for coming out watching. We have Cowboys winning 1-0. Let's go. Let's go get them, boys. We will let everyone know. We'll do the post game. We aren't able to do this week 1. We were talking about it. We are not able to go live for that first quarter, but we will have a post-game show at some point, either Sunday night. Sunday night, Monday? Monday. So Monday night, we'll come in, we'll discuss it. We'll go over the week, kind of give what went right, what went wrong for everything. And thank you. We appreciate it. I'm hoping for a win. Aaron's hoping for a win. Let's start this season out right. And Patty, I need a 5 touchdowns tonight if you're watching this later. Enjoy. Thank you all, everybody. God bless. Enjoy your evening. Let's go, Cowboys.